Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Saturday night in Strat-O-Matic. Late Saturday night for me. Late getting started here. I was debating about whether to play this game or not, or whether to just go to bed, but I decided I had enough energy to keep going, so we'll go ahead and go with it. This is the final game of May the 2nd. It's game number 161 in the total season, and it's the Seattle Mariners hosting the Milwaukee Brewers. Hello, Kenyon. Good to see you. I thought if I play something a little bit later than usual, maybe it'll allow people to watch it live that don't normally get a chance. I don't know, but just figured I'd do it. Mark Langston against Juan Nieves. On the 87 season, Mark Langston was 19-13 with a 384 earned run average. Juan Nieves was 14-8 with a 488. Of course, he did pitch a no-hitter against the Orioles early in the season in real world, not in the replay. All right. Hello, Ernest. Good to see both of you. Let's go ahead and get the starting lineups all complete here. Like I said earlier in the other video, one roster move for Seattle. Donnell Nixon is, I don't know if he's injured or sent down to AAA, but Dave Valley is going to be brought up. He's normally a catcher. He will DH in this particular game. Brewers with facing a lefty Langston. Interesting lineup they've got. They got Jim Paciorek in left field, Billy Joe Robideau at your DH. So it's a little bit getting some different guys in there, I guess you would say. For the Mariners, they're going to use Christensen, a right-handed hitter, in right field in place of the guy that they normally have in right field, and that would be Mike Kingery. They also have Kearney catching instead of lefty Scott Bradley, and they've got Valley DH instead of the lefty DH Ken Phelps. So playing the percentages is what they got going on. I agree, Ernest. That's one of the reasons why I was doing it. It's a West Coast game. So how about that? All right. So Mark Langston on the replay. Langston is 2-3. Hello, Bob. Good to see you. No, that was 1989. This is 1987. He was fully with the Mariners in 87. It was 1989 mid-season that they traded. Seattle traded Langston to Montreal for Randy Johnson. I believe there might have been another pitcher involved too, another player involved, I should say. But of course, the main attraction was Mark Langston, and people thought, I guess at the time, that Seattle got the worst end of that deal because Montreal was getting a top-notch pitcher in Langston, and nobody really heard of this Randy Johnson guy. But obviously, they turned the tables on that. So we'll go ahead and let me bring up the Strat computer so I can get the stats. And heck, I may even score the game while I'm playing it just to save time, so I can go to bed early and not be up late scoring the game. Seems to make sense to me anyway. And that way I can give you the stats as they happen. Here in the Kingdom, ballpark effects. Singles are 1-5, but home runs are 1-17. So we're looking to see some long balls. Langston has a +2 hold, and Nieves has a +1 hold. So we could see some running potentially. At least they get, the assist in that. Milwaukee enters the game 16-6, a half game back of the Yankees, who are 17-6. Seattle down near the bottom in the West, 9-15. So on the replay, Mark Langston is 2-3, but he has a very high ERA of 6.68. 31 innings pitched, 39 hits, 8 walks, and 38 strikeouts. So his walk and strikeout ratio was good, but boy, he's getting up a lot of hits and a lot of runs. Not typical Mark Langston, but he's going to try to right the ship right here. Robin Yount will lead things off for the Brew Crew. And Yount on the replay is hitting .275, 5 homers, and 21 driven in. And we're underway from the Kingdom. 4-9. Langston a righty. 1-4 is a triple. That's a 9, so it will just be a double for Robin Yount, but it's still a leadoff double for Yount. And the Brewers in business right off the bat. Bring up Dale Swain, the shortstop. Swain is hitting .262, 3 homers and 12 driven in. Nothing on the Havoc. Got what I thought are Seattle Mariner colored dice. At least the close I could get. 4-4. Switch hitter being right-handed is a catcher X. And that's going to be Kearney. He's a 4E9. So with that 4 there, it's a possibility that he could be having a pass ball or something along those lines. A 4 and a 9 for a catcher. 4 and a 9 for a catcher. P/P, that might be trouble. Could be a pass ball there, possibly. Keep that in mind, that P/P. He is an error rating of 9 as well. 3, 13, and 18. And there is no error there, but we go to P/P. P/P over here. Now, it would normally be a pass ball automatically, but I use the wild pitch rating of the pitcher. I use this super advanced that's in bold here. So we're going to go to the wild pitch rating of Langston. He's a 7. So if I roll a 1 to 7 on the D20, it's going to be a pass ball. If it's an 8 or higher, then that means there will be no pass ball. It's a 2, so it's going to be a pass ball on Kearney. Couldn't get around it. So pass ball on Kearney, and that's going to send Yount to third with nobody out. And Swain still at the plate. Infield they'll lay back early on. They try to prevent the big inning, and they have to give up 1 run, so be it. 4-6 for Swain. That is a strikeout for Langston, 1 away. And now with 1 out, the infield will come in. And it's going to be Glenn Braggs, right fielder. Glenn Braggs hitting .315, 3 homers, and 21 driven in. Nothing on the Havoc. The infield is now in with 1 out. 1-7. That's another strikeout. So Langston trying to dig his way out. A couple of strikeouts. And he needs to get Greg Brock to get out of the inning. Greg Brock hitting .354, 2 homers, 16 driven in. Infield back to normal. 6-6 left-handed, another strikeout. So Langston comes in and strikes out the side and gets out of the jam all on his own. And the Brewers come away empty-handed. Yount at third, nobody out to start the game, but they cannot score. Langston strikes out the next 3 in a row. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Milwaukee nothing. Seattle coming to bat. And Juan 19th Nieves breakdown is on the mound for the Brewers. On the replay, he's 2-1, but he has a high ERA of 6.85. 22 innings pitched, 23 hits, 12 walks, and 20 strikeouts. And leading off will be John Moses. He is really struggling. Only hit a .171, a homer and 5 driven in. It's a 3-8 against the lefty. He's going to ground it to short. And Swain is there, 1 away. That will bring up Phil Bradley. So Bradley stepping to the plate. He's hitting .200, so he's struggling as well. 2 homers and 7 driven in for Bradley. Hello, Dav. Hello, Ron. Good to see you. RJL, you're up late. Oh, we have some late night strat going on. Why not? All right. Beats having somebody come on and jibber jabbing about nothing for 3 hours. Might as well get something that's worthwhile, which is a strat game. All right, here's Bradley. 4-5, and that is a ground ball to second. 2 down. Two up and 2 down. That brings up John Christensen, the right fielder. Christensen is hitting .333. He's 3 for 9. He hasn't had a whole lot of action. 3 for 9, no homers or runs driven in. One of his 3 hits was a triple, though. It's a 3-3 against the lefty. He's going to fly to right field, and that's going to end the inning. So 3 up and 3 down go the Mariners, as they can't get anything done. We go the second inning, no score from Seattle. Got an itch on my ear for some reason. I don't know why. Try to fix that. my camera here. That got a little bit out of whack. I bumped that by accident. Let me fix that, guys, for you guys to make sure it's right back where it needs to be. I think we're okay now. Yep, I figured Saturday night's the best night to do it. Most people do not work on Sunday, so figured you could stay up a little bit later. All right, so here's Jim Paciorek, the left fielder. Jim Paciorek on the replay is hitting .308, just 13 at bats. No homers or 1 driven in. It's a 1-9 against the lefty. He will draw the leadoff walk. That can sometimes come back to bite you. The leadoff walks. Paciorek will not be held, obviously, slow as he is. Here's Billy Joe Robideau. He's hitting .286. No homers, 4 driven in. Nothing on the havoc. 6-8, left-handed, and that is another walk. So Langston has walked the first 2. Not a good sign after striking out the side earlier. First and second, nobody out for Bill Schroeder, the catcher. Dangerous hitter. He is hitting, but in the replay, he's only hitting .234. No homers and 6 driven in. Five, 6. That's another strikeout for Langston, strikeout number 4. So maybe he's going to work his way out of this jam the way he did the other one. That'll bring up Juan Castillo, second baseman, hitting .238. No homers, 2 driven in. Nothing on the havoc. 3-6, and against the lefty, that's another strikeout. So Langston was strikeout number 5. And now it's going to be up to Jim Gantner, third baseman. See if he can get the runners home. It's a clutch situation. He loses a hit in the clutch here on a 110. Everything else is neutral. Gantner on the replay, though, was tearing it up. .365. No homers, 4 runs driven in, and 63 at bats. But let's see how he does against the lefty. 6-4, left-handed fly to center. That's going to end the inning. So Langston gets out of it again. And we go to the bottom of the second, still no score from the Kingdom. And that'll send up for the Mariners Presley, Davis, and Valley making his season debut. Dave Valley. All right, here's the Hound Dog, Jim Presley. He is not doing so good either in the replay. Hitting $167, 2 homers, 11 driven in. 5-11 for Nieves. Ground ball pitcher X. Nieves is a E38. He's a 3 E38. So the 3 might be all right, but the 38's kind of high. 3-7 now makes it interesting on both sides of the house, but I think 3-8 will get him on the pitcher. 3-8, he does get a G3. I'm sorry, 3-7. But the E38, come down here, there's a whole lot of numbers here. Right here, a whole lot of numbers, a whole string of numbers right here that could possibly be hit. That's a 10, though. But there is a 10. There aren't many errors on 10s, but when you're an E38 for a pitcher, you do make the error. So that is an error on Nieves. E1. And Presley is aboard. He will not go anywhere. And here's Alvin Davis, the first baseman. He is hitting .305, 3 homers, 9 driven in. 6-5, left-handed, struck him out. So Davis down on strikes. And now the season debut of Dave Valley. I'm sorry, not the season debut. He played earlier on in the season. He was injured. Now he came back. So he's had 33 at-bats. My mistake there. He's had 33 at-bats. He's hitting .273, a homer, and 3 driven in. For some reason I was thinking it was his first game, but it is not. Might feel like it for him because he's been away for a while. 5-9, and that is a walk for Nieves. His first walk. Third walk of the second inning when you count the top half as well. 2 from Langston, and now 1 from Nieves. And that brings up the catcher, Bob Kearney. Kearney Hitting a .111. He's 1 for 9. No homers or runs driven in. It's a 2-4, and he's going to pop it up to short. That's 2 away. And now they're going to turn it over to Ray Quinones in a clutch situation. And for Quinones in the clutch against lefties, he will lose a hit on 2-7. Everything else, he is neutral. Get a 3-8, and that's a single 1-6, but that's an 11, so he's going to line it to short. And that's going to end the inning. So Seattle can't capitalize on the error by Nieves. And at the end of 2, we got no score from the Kingdom. Hello, D. Scott. Good to see you. Hello, Chuck. Yep, those 2 wild pitches did him in. Well, one was his fault. One was the catcher's fault. Mercado. He allowed that based on his bad catching. So, you know, but it happens. All right, now, top of the 3rd we go. Top of the order for the Mariners. For the Brewers, rather. Robin Yount. He doubled, reached 3rd with nobody out, but was stranded there after 3 consecutive strikeouts. That's a 1-7, and he's got a 1-7 double. That's an 11, though, so it'll be a leadoff single for Robin Yount. So Yount with a single. See if he can get the lead. Needs a 5 or a 6 to get the lead. He does not get the lead. That's a 1. He could be picked off. His safe range is an 11. 1 to 11, he gets back. 12 or higher, he's picked off. And he gets back, but now he cannot establish the lead, so he will hold. Robin Yount will stay there, stay put, being thankful he got back. And now we'll move it on over to Dale Swain. 1-5, and that is a 1 single. Anything else, he lines to short. So that is going to be a line drive to Quinones for out number 1. Brings up Braggs. Struck out his first chance. .25, and that's a ground ball third base A. That's going to go 5-4-3 around the horn for a double play. It's going to end the inning. Langston with 3 shutout innings, getting himself back on track. And the Brewers definitely missing Paul Molitor at the top of that lineup. Their offense just has not been the same since he went out with injury. So here comes Harold Reynolds. We'll see if he's been watching baseball tonight and learn anything or not. He is on the replay. He is hitting .247, no homers, 3 driven in. 5-9, switch hitter batting right-handed. That's the leadoff walk. So Harold Reynolds will get on. Now can he get the lead? He needs a 2 through 6 or a 9 lead. That's a 5. He gets the lead, so he's going to take off. He's an 18. Being held makes him a 16, and then +1 there is a 17. 1-17, he steals it. And he does. So a stolen base for Harold Reynolds. He steals. And for Harold Reynolds, that is stolen base number 8. Stolen base number 8 on the season for Harold Reynolds. He's in scoring position. Nobody out for John Moses. .29 for Moses. That's a single to center field. Now do they send Harold Reynolds? He was 17. He was being held, makes him a 16. Center fielder arm goes a +2. It's an 18. So they're going to allow him to score and make sure Moses can't get to second base on the overthrow. So that's going to be an RBI single for John Moses. And now Moses might be looking to get a lead here. He needs a 2 to 10 or a 12. So something either is going to get the lead or he's going to be thrown out, one or the other, picked off, what do you want to call it? It's a 7, he gets the lead, so it's a 15. Being held is a 13, +1's a 14. 1 to 14, he steals second base. And he does. Stolen base for Mr. Moses. So they are running like crazy on Nieves and Schroeder. Here's Phil Bradley. So Moses is at second base. Nobody out still. Takes a double play out of the equation. Here's Phil Bradley. 6-5, and that's a strikeout. Big one for Nieves. He needed it. One away for John Christensen. Christensen flew to right field, his first chance. Seattle leads it 1-0. 2-9, and that is a ground ball shortstop B, so the runner's going to have to hold at second base with the ball hit in front of him. He will stay right there. Two away. Clutch situation now for the Hound Dog, Jim Presley. And in the clutch, he is going to lose a hit on 2-3. That's his only clutch effect. But he does lose a hit on 2-3. Get a 3-6, and that's going to be a 1-6 single, but that's a 20, so he's going to line it to short. And that's going to end the inning. But the Mariners do get a run and take that lead. And spearhead of that was Harold Reynolds, the walk, the stolen base, and then he scores on the single. So at the end of 3 complete, it is Seattle 1 and Milwaukee nothing. Expecting more runs in this friendly kingdom, but we haven't hit any ballpark effects yet. So I'm sure they're to come. We'll wait and see. Hello, Ron. Good to see you. All right. Top of the 4th, it is Greg Crocodile Brock. 3-6 against the lefty. 1-18 to single. So Greg Brock will lead off with the base hit. And the Brewers, all 4 innings, the leadoff man has reached, but they have not scored. But you know that that's going to eventually change. Just the odds. Langston playing with fire, putting these leadoff guys on. Here's Pashorek. Brock not being held. That's a 3-5 against the lefty, and that's a walk. So much like the second inning, we've got 2 on and nobody out. As Langston getting himself into trouble. Now let's try to get out of it. Here's Robideau. He walked his first time up. Langston's walked 3 already to go along with his 5 strikeouts. 1-11, and that's a fly to right field. Out number 1. First out. We'll bring up Schroeder. Schroeder struck out his first chance. It's a good double play candidate as well. 4-9, and but he's also a chance to get a base hit. 1-4 is a triple. That's a 16. It'll be a double for Bill Schroeder. And finally, these leadoff base runners are coming back to haunt Langston. Scoring is Brock. Now we'll see if Pashorek, who runs at a 12, not being held as a 13, doubles assumed to go to center. It'd be a 1-13 if they wanted to try it to get the lead with 1 out. And with the lesser part of the lineup coming up, they're gonna send him. And with the trail runner being a 9 rated speed, he's not going to take third. So there's no risk in trying to throw him out. It's going to be a 1-13, and he's out. He got caught. He got thrown out. We're going to say that goes 8-6-2 to throw him out. So it's an RBI double from Schroeder. And Pashorek is out 8-6-2. We do have a tie ball game, but now there are 2 outs. So 2 down. Schroeder still at second base. And Castillo, the batter. Clutch situation for Castillo. He struck out his first chance as well. That's a 3-9, and that's a fly to center to end the inning. So Milwaukee will tie it. They could have done a lot more, but they got Pashorek thrown out at the plate on a nice relay from Ray Quinones. From Moses to Quinones, and they nailed that relay play, and Kearney blocked the plate and took care of it. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. And Due up will be Castillo. I'm sorry, not Castillo. It will be, I didn't put Castillo in the computer yet. Now we can get over there. Due up now is Alvin Davis. Davis, his first time up, struck out. It's 2-7, and he's going to ground it to first. Easy play for Brock, unassisted. One away. For Dave Valley. 1-3 for Valley against the lefties. Hit by pitch plus injury. Wow. So he just came back from injury. It's his first game back, and now he's hit by pitch and a chance to be injured for the rest of the game. Needs a 1-4 to stay in the game. 5 or higher, he's out. He is out. So Valley's going to have to be replaced. We'll need a new designated hitter for Valley. He is hit by the pitch, but he will be replaced. He's going to have to come out. He'll be back for the next game, but he's got to come out right now. And they need a new DH. So who do you go to here for a DH? I guess they're going to go with Phelps. He doesn't run well, but he hits well. So they're going to put Phelps back in as DH. So Phelps will be coming in to – Phelps will take over as DH in the 5th inning. Ken Phelps. So Phelps it is. He will be the new DH for Seattle. As Valley will go get checked out, but he'll be back for the next – he'll be eligible starting tomorrow, or the next game, I should say. So Phelps on first base obviously will not be held. Here's Kearney against Nieves. That's a 5-6, and that's a strikeout. 2 down, and that brings up Quinones. Two, chance for a balk or a pass ball. We're checking for a balk on Nieves, but his balk rating is a 0. Quinones, 111, and that's a ballpark single. Our first ballpark effect. It's a 1-5. That's not going to happen, so it's a line drive to short, and it's going to end the inning. So Seattle goes pretty quietly in their half of the 4th. We've completed 4 from the Kingdome, and it's still just 1-1. Langston back out. We'll be facing Gantner. And then at the top of the order, Yount and Swain. Six, and that's going to be another strikeout for Langston. Strikeout number 6 for Langston. But he has walked 3, so take the good with the bad. If you're Seattle, here's Yount. 5-5, and that's another strikeout. Strikeout number 7 for Yount. Or for Langston, rather. That'll bring up Dale Swain. Oops, the blue die didn't go through. Let's redo that again. Don't want tainted rolls here. 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Quinones is a 3, E31. 3 and a 17, he'll get to it. E31 as a shortstop. E31, that's a 13. 13s are always dangerous, but not here. E31, there is no 13. So it's a good play for Quinones, and the inning is over. So Langston, a very pedestrian and easy 5th inning. Go to the bottom of the 5th, still tied at 1. All right. Harold Reynolds will be due up here in the bottom of the 5th. He walked, stole second, and scored on a single his first time up. 3-9, and he's going to pop it up to Swain at short. Start the inning, so no steals in this inning for Mr. Reynolds. Here's Moses. 5-6, switch hitter bang right. 5-6 is a strikeout. Nieves putting down Moses. 2 quick outs, and that's going to take us to Bradley. 3-10 for Bradley against Nieves. He's hit by the pitch, so he gets plunked. Does Mr. Bradley. And so he will be at first base with 2 outs. See if he can get the lead. He's going to try for it. Needs a 2 through 5 to get that lead. Does not get the lead. So he will have to hold for Christensen. 4-6, right-handed is a walk. That's going to put 2 on with 2 outs. So it looked like an easy inning for Nieves getting the first 2 outs, but now a hit by pitch and a walk. Without the benefit of a hit, Seattle has something going here in the bottom of the 5th with the hound dog, Jim Presley, coming up in a clutch situation. In the clutch, he loses a hit on 2-3. So that's a 1. So we're going to check for a wild pitch on Nieves. He's a 4. And there is no wild pitch. I need to fix something on the computer. Something got messed up on the computer. I've got somebody on base that shouldn't be there. So good thing they have the undo button. That's one of the nicer things that Strat did have on this was the undo button. I had Christensen getting hit by the pitch, not Bradley. That was the problem. Okay, now he's hit by the pitch. Christensen draws the walk. And now we're straight with the hound dog. Okay. So the hound dog is up. We get a 6-3. 6-3 is a ground ball first base X. That's Brock. He's a 3-10. He was not holding the trail runner on, obviously, so he keeps his number 3. 3-19 is good, so it's going to be a 3-1 put out as long as there's no error. He's an E10. E10, and that's a 15. That's interesting. E10, and there's a 15 sitting right there. It's a 1 base error on Greg Brock. So Brock boots it, and that will load the bases. So without the benefit of a hit, the Mariners have the bases loaded with 2 outs. And Nieves obviously should be out of the inning right now, but he's facing the bases loaded with Alvin Davis, your batter. Bases loaded, and Alvin Davis is the batter. Davis is 0 for 2. 2-3, and he's going to fly to center. He is now 0 for 3. That leaves him loaded. So Nieves pitches out of the jam. At the end of 5, it's still 1-1 here in the Kingdom. So we go to the top of the 6th. And we'll be looking at Glenn Braggs to lead it off. It'll be Braggs, Brock, and Pashork. Due up here in the top of the 6th against Langston. 3-7 for Braggs. 1-9's a single. Anything else he lines out, but that's a 12. So he will line it out to Quinones at short, 1 away. All right, here's Bill Schroeder. And Schroeder is 1 for 2 with us. I'm sorry. How did Schroeder get out of there? Schroeder's not in the right spot here. How did he get way up there? Can't bat out of order, Bill. So Brock is in. He's 1 for 2 with a single. 1-5, and that's a fly to right field, 2 down. He was not officially announced, so he did not bat out of order. The error was caught before he was officially announced. So here's Pashork, and Pashork has walked twice. 5-7, ground ball shortstop X. That's Quinones. He's a 3. 3 and a 5 should be okay. You would think a 3 and a 5. Yep, G3. That's good. He's an E31, so he's got to avoid 3, 4, 6, and then 15 through 18. 3, 4, 6, and 15 through 8. Whoops, that didn't go through. Let's try that again. And he does avoid it, so it's good play to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Brewers, rather. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, still 1-1. This is the fatigue inning for Nieves. He does have a 6 here on his fatigue number. So we'll keep an eye on potential fatigue as we start the bottom of the 6th. And coming up for the Mariners, it'll be Ken Phelps. He took over as DH for the injured Valley. So this is his first at bat for Phelps. Phelps on the replay hitting .283, 6 homers and 16 runs driven in. 1-2, and that's a foul out to Schroeder. One away. 2-2 would have been a home run, but not a 1-2. So here's Kearney, 0 for 2. 6-6, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Swain. He's a 3, E25. 3-11, he'll get to it, E25. E25, and there's that dreaded 13 again. E25, and there's a 13 sitting right there. So it's a one-base error on Dale Swain. Those 13s come up more than it seems to should, but the dice are just evil. And that is now, if I'm looking at it, I believe that's the 3rd error of the game on the Brew Crew. It is. Nieves has made 2 errors on his own, and then now Swain has made an error. So Kearney's on. He will not be held, obviously. And here's Quinones. 2-6 for Quinones. Ground ball shortstop A. It's a 6-4-3 double play. Pitcher's best friend. And that ends the inning. So Nieves will keep full endurance to head to the 7th. We completed 6 from the Kingdom, and it's still 1-1. I was definitely expecting more runs than this, but you never know when you got dice involved. So Billy Joe Robideau will lead off the top of the 7th, and this is, Langston actually is the 8th inning for fatigue, so Langston's still good. Here's Robideau. We are in the 7th, so pinch hitting is allowed. 1-9, oops, let's get Robideau up here so he can bat. 1-9 is going to be a walk, so Robideau will walk. Robideau will walk, and we're going to have a pinch runner for Robideau. And somebody will pinch run for him and take over his DH. See who they've got. They've only got 3 bench players. Cooper doesn't run well at all. Neither does the backup catcher Surhoff, but Rick Manning runs at a 16. So Rick Manning will come in and pinch run and take over as the DH for the Brew Crew. So Rick Manning will come on. Manning pinch running in the 7th. DH in the 7th. So Rick Manning is aboard. He needs a 5 to get the lead. Only way he gets the lead is on a 5. And he does not get it, so he will hold. But he does have good speed, and it's going to force them to hold the runner on it, which might open up something in the infield, which is why you pretty much do something like that. So Manning, the pinch runner, and the batter is Bill Schroeder. Schroeder is the batter. So make the substitution on the computer to put Manning as the pinch runner. All right, so Manning is aboard to start the pinch running duties with 1 out. I'm sorry, with nobody out. And Bill Schroeder is your batter. Could be a bunt situation, but he's not a very good bunter. So they're going to have him swing away. 2, chance for a... I've already done that. I already did the Havoc roll to check for steal, so I didn't need to do that again. All right, so Langston to Schroeder. 3-11, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-5, but that's a 15, so we're going to line it to short. And there's 1 away. 1 down, and that will bring up Juan Castillo. Not a whole lot of moves the Brewers can make because they just don't have a lot of guys on the bench. They got Cooper, and they've got the backup catcher Surhoff, and that's it. They're pretty much stuck with who they've got. 4-5, and switch hitter being right-handed. That's another strikeout for Langston. Chalk up another one for Langston. And that'll bring up Gantner with 2 outs and a runner at first. And for Langston now, he is sitting on 8 strikeouts. Here's Gantner. He's 0 for 2. 5-6 left-handed, struck him out. That's 9 strikeouts now for Langston, as he has just got that strikeout pitch going. Nothing doing for the Brew Crew. We go to the bottom of the seventh inning stretch time here in or at the Kingdom. And the score, surprisingly, is 1-1. Did not see that one coming at all. But it is the 7th inning stretch time, so if you like, you can sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." I might take a quick stretch break while I'm at it. And while Nieves is warming up, I will do so. And we can sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." All right. We are done the 7th inning stretch, and we're ready to go. Harold Reynolds steps in. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. 6-9, switch hitter being right-handed, and that's a double for Harold Reynolds. So Reynolds really getting the hitting tips from baseball tonight and paying off. A leadoff double. And now maybe the Brewer bullpen might start to stir just a tiny bit. I know Plesac is tired from being overused. So it looks like Chuck Creme de la Creme is loosening in the Milwaukee bullpen. He's going to be loosening in case Nieves runs into trouble. We are, of course, in the 7th inning, so pinch hitting is allowed. John Moses is a .246 hitter, but I don't know if Seattle has, particularly from the right side, they don't have a lot of hitting. Their better hitters are left-handed, so I think we're going to just stick with Moses on this particular case. Moses is 1 for 3. That's a 4-7. Switch hitter being right-handed, and that is a ground ball back to Nieves. There's a dot there, but he's not tired. And with it hit right back to him, Reynolds has to freeze, and there's 1 away. And that'll bring us to Phil Bradley, who was hit by a pitch his last time up. See if he might. That's a 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball. We're checking the pass ball rating of Schroeder. It's a 2. And there is no pass ball. So here's Bradley. Reynolds is being held at second. 1-6, and that's a ballpark blast. And there we go. Finally, the Kingdom comes into play. We get a 1-6 ballpark blast. It's 1-17. That's a 9. It's long, and it's gone. Phil Bradley. 2-run home run for Bradley. Gives the Mariners a 3-1 lead for Bradley. That is home run number 3, RBIs number 8 and 9. And perhaps they went one batter too many with Nieves, although he was pitching pretty well, I'll admit. They're going to stick with him a little bit longer, because if you bring in the right-hander, then Seattle will counter with left-handed pinch hitting. So they prefer to have them face the right-handers. 3-7, and that's a strikeout, and that's why. So that's 2 down. 2 down, and that's going to send up the hound dog, Jim Presley. 1-6, and he struck him out, so that's why they stuck with Nieves. 1 hiccup, and they didn't panic. But a 2-run home run from Phil Bradley, and the Mariners all of a sudden have themselves a 3-1 lead as the Kingdom finally rears its head and favors the home team. So that's going to probably be it for Nieves. I think it will be. And with some lefties coming up for Seattle, it will not be Krim coming in anymore. It will be Paul Mirabella. So actually, Mirabella will be coming in the ninth inning, or in the eighth inning, rather, for Milwaukee. He will be the new pitcher for the Brewers. Nieves is going to go 7 innings, and we'll get the full numbers on Nieves. Get his full totals from the computer. Nieves, 7 innings, just 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. But the big blow, the 2-run home run off the bat of Phil Bradley. And now Mark Langston is at his fatigue inning, number 8. So we have to keep an eye on fatigue for Langston. He'll be facing Yount, Swain, and Braggs, top of the order for the Brew Crew. And for Yount, he's 2 for 3 against Langston. So he's found some success. 6-7, leadoff walk. Yet another walk given up by Langston. So he's got the 9 strikeouts. He also has 5 walks. He's got the Dolly Parton walk and strikeout ratio, 9-5. So Robin Yount walks. He's stolen 2 bases on the season. Could he try to get stolen base number 3? Needs a 5 or a 6 to do so. Get that lead. He gets the lead with a 6. So that makes him a 16. Being held to 14 plus 2 from Langston to 16. So 1-16, he steals it. And he does. Stolen base for Yount. That's his 3rd steal of the season. Gets him in scoring position, takes the double play out of the equation. And here comes Dale Swain, who was 0 for 3. Swain, switch hitter, 0 for 3. Looking to knock in Yount, 3-9. And he will do it. 1-5 is a double. That's a 2. It's a double 2 stars. So the walk and the double make it a 3-2 game, and now maybe Langston is tiring. And we got action in the Seattle bullpen. We have Mr. Eastbound and Down, Jerry Reed, loosening quickly in the Seattle bullpen as he's looking to keep the Mariners from getting in trouble too much. It's 3-2. Nobody out still, and here's Glenn Braggs. 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball. Chance for a balk, but I believe Langston, he's a 3. So Langston does balk on a 1, 2, or 3. That's a 2, so he's going to balk. How about that? So maybe Langston get a little flustered, commits the balk, and that puts the tying run at third base with nobody out. Going to force the infield to come in. All kinds of things happening with that. That's a 6-7. Infield is in, and that's a walk again. That's the 6th walk issued by Langston. He is now fatigued. So we could see Jerry Reed. However, it is a lefty Brock coming up. So I think they're going to let Langston go one more batter. But Jerry Reed is ready. The infield is still in with runners on the corners and nobody out. Braggs, I don't believe. He is being held, but he won't go anywhere. So here's Brock. 4-5, and that's a strikeout for Langston, a huge one. Strikeout number 10. And now Paciorek, the left fielder, is up. But Seattle will make the move. Dick Williams is going to go eastbound and down with Jerry Reed. Reed's going to do what they say can't be done, get out of a first and third jam with nobody out. So can't close the book on Langston just yet. But Jerry Reed is taking over. Reed is a +6, which is not good, obviously. So it's a +5, which will definitely attempt or probably encourage, I should say, some base stealing. So let's bring in Jerry Reed out of the bullpen for the Mariners. Comes in a tight situation, trying to get his teammate Mark Langston out of this. Langston can win it. He could also lose it because he's responsible for both guys on base. Could give up to 4 runs. So go either direction. Jerry Reed on the replay, 1-1 with 2 saves, 6.19 earned run average, 16 innings pitched, 15 hits, 4 walks, 11 strikeouts. He's given up 6 home runs in 16 innings, so the gopher ball has been his issue. Now, Paciorek, do they have anybody to play left field is the problem. They do not. Only person they have on the bench is Cooper, and all he can do is DH. So they really have nobody to play left field, so you're going to have to pinch it. You're going to have to keep Paciorek in the game, I should say. Paciorek will have to stay in the game. Runners are at the corners, 1 out. Jerry Reed trying to get out of the jam. Infield is still in to 5-7, and that's a ground ball, second base X. That's going to be Harold Reynolds. He's a 2. Oh, that's trouble. 2 and a 4. 2 and a 4. 2 and a 4 is a G3 pound, but with the infield in, it turns into a single. 2 stars. It will score the run. And we'll send Braggs to third base. Also have to check to see if there's an error. Well, that B just didn't turn out too well. There did it. Single with the infield in for Paciorek. It's going to tie this game. Reynolds is an E21. He's got to avoid 413 and 17 to avoid the error. And there's a 13. It comes up again. How many times can I roll a 13? It's an E1, and that's going to score Braggs. Or not an E1, but an E4 on Reynolds. And that's going to cause Braggs to come around and score. So we got a single plus an error on Reynolds. He was not watching baseball tonight like I thought he was. Not learning the basics. Braggs will score. Huge error, and now it's 4-3 Brewers, and now Langston's on the hook for the loss. Unless his team can rally. Here's Rick Manning. He took over as the DH. This is his first at bat since coming in. And he's hitting .750. He's 3 for 4 on the replay with a triple. No home runs and 1 driven in. Reed to Manning. 4-6. And that's a single. Boy, now he is 4 for 5. He's hitting .800. A single to center field. Paciorek doesn't run all that well. They will hold him at third base. But now runners at the corners with only 1 out. And Bill Schroeder, the catcher, steps to the plate. Jerry Reed not doing so well. Infield back for the double play. Trying to get out of the inning. 6-6, and that is a strikeout. So Jerry Reed does strike out Schroeder for out number 2, and that brings up Castillo. Clutch situation for Castillo. Infield back to normal. Nobody being held. 5-11. Switch being left is a ballpark single, 1-5, but that's a 6. So it will be a line out to second base to end the inning. But 3 runs come in for the Brewers, and they take a 4-3 lead. How about that? And Nieves is credited with these runs, so Nieves could get the win. Langston could take the loss. And we can close the book on Langston now. So let's go to the Strat computer and figure out the final results for Langston and where he stands. He is on the hook to be the loser unless Seattle can tie the game. He's gone 7 1/3, or he went 7 1/3. Gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. Walked 6, struck out 10. But he is on the hook for the loss. And now coming in for the Brew Crew, it will be Paul Mirabella, left-hander. Paul Mirabella. Mirabella is a -1, so he ends up being a 0, net 0 with the catcher. So Mirabella is going to come in. We'll get the numbers on Mirabella. Get his replay stats so you can see what he's doing for the season. On the replay, Paul Mirabella is 1-0 with no saves and ERA of 0. He's pitched 5 innings, given up 5 hits, no runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. And he's going to face Alvin Davis. 0 for 3, Alvin Davis. That's a 5-4. Lefty on lefty is a ground ball third base X. That is Gantner. He's a 3E12. 3 with an E12. 3 and a 19 is good. E12 is what he's got to worry about. As a third baseman, E12 and a 6, probably okay. Third base, E12. There's a 12 and a 16, nothing else. So it's good play for Gantner. And there's one away. Brew Crew trying to win this game and keep pace with the Yankees, who already won. They would both be 17-6 and tied for first place in the East. Here is Phelps. 3-5, and that's a strikeout. And that brings up Kearney. Now, do they want to pinch hit for Kearney? They just don't have a whole lot from the right side. They do have Domingo Ramos. So actually, we're going to pinch hit with Kearney. Yeah, Kearney's coming out. Domingo Ramos will come on to pinch hit for Kearney. And then Scott Bradley will take over as the catcher in the 9th inning. So Kearney will be replaced by Ramos. So Ramos, the pinch hit in the 8th. And then Bradley will catch in the 9th. So Domingo Ramos, we'll get the numbers on Ramos. And Ramos on the replay. Checks in. 333 is 3 for 9. Limited duty. 1 homer and 1 run driven in. 5-8 is a ground ball second base X. That is Castillo. Castillo's a 3E21. 3 and 12 will get to it. E21. E21 and a 15 at second base. E21. There's a 13, but no 15, so it's good play. And that's going to end the inning. So Ramos fails in the pinch. And Scott Bradley will take over behind the plate in the 9th. So we go to the 9th. That's going to be it for Mirabella. He goes 1 inning, gives up nothing with a strikeout, and they will use Chuck Krim to try to close the door in the 9th. So we go to the top of the 9th. It's a 4-3 lead for the Brew Crew as we bring in Bradley to catch on the computer so that everything is copacetic. Top of the 9th. Due up for the Brewers, it is Gantner, Yount, and Swain. And Jerry Reed's going to stay in there to pitch the 9th inning. Had a struggle in the 8th, but they're going to try to get through it. Hello, Prague. All right, so Jerry Reed. Let me make sure that this is all fitting. Don't want to lose the end of the cards here. All right, so Jerry Reed facing Ray Quinones. Quinones, the only batter to not hit in the. I'm sorry, not Quinones, Gantner. When it's not an inter-squad game, this is Gantner. He's the only one that didn't bat in the 8th inning. 4-8, 1-18 is a single, so that's a base hit for Gantner. And boy, Jerry Reed is still having his issues. And here's Robin Yount. He started the whole mess in the 8th inning with the leadoff walk and stolen base. It's a 1-6, and that's trouble. 1-6 is a triple. 7-20 is a single. It's a 9. Single 2 stars. And that's going to put runners at first and second with nobody out. And that's going to be it for Jerry Reed. They're going to pull Jerry Reed as he just didn't seem to have it. And they will go with left-hander Bill Wilkinson to try to get out of the jam. So Wilkinson will come on for Reed. Wilkinson is a -1 hold, makes him a net 0. And we'll get the numbers on Wilkinson. After a less than stellar outing for Jerry Reed. So Bill Wilkinson, the left-hander, will be summoned from the bullpen by Dick Williams. And Wilkinson on the replay. Whoops, wrong team. Let's go over to the home team here. Wilkinson on the replay is 1-1 with a save, 5.73 earned run average, 11 innings pitched, 12 hits, 4 walks, and 13 strikeouts. So they'll see what he can do to try to get out of this jam, if possible. May not be that easy to do. Tough situation that he's got to deal with. So we'll see what he does here against Dale Swain. Switch hitter batting will now turn around, bat right-handed. Runners are at the corners with nobody out, so they're going to have to bring the infield in. There's no option for that otherwise. Infield will come in for Swain's at bat. That's a 2. And that's a wild pitch or a balk. Let's get Wilkinson's numbers for those figures. Wilkinson has 0 on both occasions. So if we get a balk, it'll be a 0. But we get a pass ball chance, which is a 0. Well, actually, it's Bradley, the catcher. So we got to check Bradley's pass ball rating because we don't have Kearney anymore. It's Bradley. So Bradley's pass ball rating is a 1. So the only way it's a pass ball is on a 1. It is not. So good play there to block it. So we're back to square one here with Swain. Infield is in. 3-12 for Swain against the lefty. It's a ballpark blast, and that is long, and that is gone. Swain just deposited and greets Bill Wilkinson with a ballpark blast. 3-12. That's a 17. That's a 3. It's gone. Dale Swain, home run number 4, RBIs 14, 15, and 16. 3-run bomb has just blown this thing wide open. And now Krim will not come in to do the save. They'll bring in some schlub that just needs the innings because they have such a big lead. So Swain greets Bill Wilkinson. All those runs, or the other 2 runs, are charged to Reed. So Reed's going to have a heck of a ERA after this one's over with. It is now 7-3. Here's Glenn Braggs. 3-7, and that's a 1-9 single. That's a 2, so the hit parade continues. Seattle bullpen getting molested. And that'll bring up Greg Brock. 2, so a chance of a pass ball or a balk again. But let's see, it has to be a 1 for a pass. Oh, that's a balk, so he has 0 balk. So Brock, 4-6, struck him out. Finally getting out. 1 away. And that'll send up Paciorek, left fielder. (6-3), and that is a ground ball pitcher X. So Wilkinson is a 3, and he's an E19. So we'll see what he can do with this. 3-19, possible double play. He is an E19. And that is a 13 again. I keep rolling 13s. So what's the deal with that? Why do we keep rolling 13s? E19, fortunately for him, there's no 13. There's a 12, but no 13. So it will be a double play. It will go 1 to 4 to 3 to end the inning. But 3 runs again for the Brewers. They put up 3 in the 8th and 3 in the 9th. And just take control of this game 7 to 3. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Seattle faithful are losing heart, and most of them have left the building. So let's close the book on Reed and those horrible numbers that he managed to produce in this ball game. Not helping his cause whatsoever. So Reed is going to go 2/3 of an inning, and he's going to give up 4 hits and 2 runs. No walks and a strikeout. Wilkinson's going to go 1 inning, give up 2 hits and 1 run, which was the homer, and no walks and a strikeout. So coming in to pitch for the Brewers here in the bottom of the 9th in a non-save situation, they will turn to Mark Clear. So it will not be Krim, it'll be Clear. He was the clear choice, Mark Clear. Clear a +1, makes him a +2, but down 7 to 3. I doubt there's going to be a whole lot of running. So coming into the ball game is Clear. And on the replay, Clear is 1-1 with no saves and a 1.69 earned run average. 11 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 walks, 13 strikeouts. For the Brewers, it'll be Quinones, Reynolds, and Moses, but they do have Scott Bradley. I'm sorry, they do have Mike Kingery on the bench to bat for somebody, probably for Moses, most likely. Quinones is a 276 hitter, so they're not going to hit for him. But it looks like they will hit for Moses with Mike Kingery. So it'll be Quinones, Reynolds, and Kingery due up for the Mariners in the bottom of the 9th. They now trail it 7 to 3. 112, and that's a leadoff walk. So there's always hope. When Mark Clear is in the game, there's always hope. Red Sox fans learned that a long time ago. He walks, and here comes Harold Reynolds. Reynolds will step in. Reynolds is 1 for 2 with a double and a walk and 2 runs scored. But he did commit an error as well. 4-5. Switch hitter batting left-handed, and he strikes out. So Clear puts the K on Reynolds. And now Kingery will pinch hit for Moses. Mike Kingery. And we'll get the numbers on Kingery. Kingery on the replay is hitting .290, 4 homers, 12 driven in. 2 chance of a balk or a pass ball. Looking at a pass ball chance on Schroeder, it's a 2. No pass ball. So Kingery will swing it. 6-9 left-handed, and that's another strikeout. So Clear has come back and struck out 2 in a row. 1 out away from ending this game. Phil Bradley is your batter. He did have a 2-run homer his last time up. So it's not over yet. .410, and that's another strikeout. So Clear comes in and strikes out the side after the leadoff walk and gets it done. And the Brew Crew win it to improve to 17-6 and keep pace with those New York Yankees who are also at 17-6. So Langston will take the loss. He's now 2-4, Winning pitcher is Nieves. He is 3-1. There is no save involved. So we'll go to the computer to get the final totals on this one. And this does conclude the May 2nd portion of the schedule. So for the Brewers, 7 runs, 11 hits, and 3 errors. And for the Mariners, 3 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. Brewers left on 7, Mariners left on 8. Player of the game, Dale Swain. He was 2 for 5 with Swain, but his 3-run homer capped it off in the 9th inning and gave them the breathing room they needed. He also had a double in the 8th inning as well to mix in with that. So he was 2 for 5 with 4 runs batted in. So Dale Swain is your player of the game. Dale Swain, player of the game for the Brew Crew. So the Brewers improved to 17-6. Mariners dropped to 9-16. Langston's ERA goes to 6.10. So not good. So now that the May 2nd block is over, we can go to the standings, and I can give you the updated standings up to the minute as they include this game. So in the AL East, the Yankees and Brewers are tied at 17-6, tied for first place. Second place is Toronto. They're 13-9, 3.5 games back. The other 4 teams are under 500. In the West, Oakland leads the West at 17-8. The White Sox are in second, 3.5 back at 11-9. Texas and Kansas City are tied at 10-11, 5 games back. Then you have California 6 games back, Minnesota 7 games back, and Seattle now with this loss drops 8 games back as they are now 9-16. So as we look ahead to the May 3rd block of games, let's see if we got a full slate on May 3rd. We do. So it'll be Sunday, May 3rd. And the games will include, first game will probably be Chicago and Baltimore, Joel Davis against Mike Boddicker. Then we have Cleveland at Kansas City, Ken Schramm against Danny Jackson. We have Texas at Toronto, Ed Correa and Jim Clancy. The Yankees and Minnesota, Dennis Rasmussen against Mark Portugal. And then the 3 left coast games, Al Nipper and the Red Sox take on John Candelaria and the Angels. Eric King and the Tigers take on Eric Plunk and the A's. So it's a couple of Erics going at it there. And here from Seattle in the next game will be Teddy Higuera for the Brewers against Mike Morgan for the Mariners. So that's going to do it from here on the May 2nd block. We've completed the May 2nd games. Game 161 is in the books. And 2 weeks from today will be the opening game of the season ticket 1978 NBC Game of the Week. For anyone that missed the game today when I was talking about it, there are 5 teams that are not participating in the NBC Game of the Week because I'm using the NBC Game of the Week schedule as it was. So there are 5 teams that are not included. They are Seattle, Oakland, and Toronto from the American League, Atlanta, and San Diego from the National League. So what I decided to do is play 3 practice games before the season starts. So the first practice game is going to be Toronto at Detroit. Opening day in Detroit, Toronto at Detroit. It'll be Mark the Bird Fidrich on the mound for the Tigers. The other 2 games will be Oakland playing Seattle and San Diego playing Atlanta. So they'll play each other, and I can get the 3 games in before the actual April 12th date to start the real game. But that will get those teams on the video so that you can see them in season ticket, because you won't see them during the regular season. Then everybody else, once the season starts, they'll get at least 1 game, and many teams will have multiple games. So that's the outlook for that. Sometime tomorrow, probably, I will play the last game of the Cincinnati Reds and Pittsburgh Pirates series. Jose Rijo on the mound for the Reds, trying to break that 1-game losing streak. He's their streak breaker, and he'll be pitching against some jabroni named Randy Kramer for Pittsburgh. So advantage definitely on paper to the Reds, but that's why you roll the games. So that's going to do it from here. I do appreciate all you guys staying up late on a Saturday night. At least it's late for me. It may not be late for you guys. Definitely not late for Beatles Eternally. He's probably just now eating breakfast or something because he's like a definite night owl. And some other guys are too from time to time. But anyway, thank you all for spending your Saturday evening with me as we finish the May 2nd block. It is the Milwaukee Brewers defeating the Seattle Mariners 7-3. And player of the game, Dale Swain. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game we choose to play, however we choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.